live by just clicking on the link?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. We're live in the pits of Motor Chaos. It's yours, Dave. The Lion special guest, Aka fuel auto driver, Cory Holcomb. How you doing, Cory?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. So, have you got the fuel auto out this year so far yet?
Unfortunately, I have not been able to get out this year. One, with all of the pandemic going on, and I actually was changing up my motor this year, and had to order some new pistons, and I'm actually on hold waiting on my pistons right now. Went ahead and got a new crank, new rod, and new pistons because I changed my blower out this year to a 1471 high helix, and in order to actually work the blower, I need to get some higher RPMs out of my motor.
So you're looking to go faster, huh, buddy?
Yeah, currently right now, I've been floating in the 440 range, 450 range, which is not too bad, but I'm looking to kind of keep up with some faster competition down here in Texas. They got the OFAA, the Outlaw Fuel Altered, and I'm looking to run a couple races with those guys. And, man, they're just so fast. I got to put everything I can into it.
So tell me a little bit about your car. It's blown alcohol, right?
Yes, it's a blown alcohol car. It's a Uhara chassis. It is a 6.0 car. Currently right now, I have a 572 Chevrolet motor in it with the Profiler Sniper X heads on it, and 1471. It is running off of an MSD instead of a mag still, and it's got a power glide, and it does work, man. It's real simple, and it goes A to B most of the time, as long as I can keep myself in check.
So what's the quickest ET you've had with that car?
The fastest I've been in this car is 446 at, I believe it was 170, 172. And I only run 8th mile stuff. That's what I'm licensed to run at. Would love to make a quarter mile pass, but I'm just not geared for that yet.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, man. Like you were saying with the pandemic, drag racing's been on hold in a lot of places,
Yeah, luckily down here, we opened up not too late in the year. We missed a couple events, but it seems like Texas, we were going forward, and now we're starting to fall backwards a little bit. They have to say that we have a surge in the pandemic, which is understandable, but we still are racing down here, and golly, man, I hope I can just get back to racing real soon.
Yeah, it's an NHRA. They're all screwed up now. But one's in Indianapolis this weekend.
Yeah, India this weekend, which is kind of surprising. And what's also more surprising is that John Force Racing is the whole team.
Yeah, I saw that. I read that. Yeah.
The next two races, I'm kind of wondering what's going on. I've read that he still does have his sponsorship, so I don't think it's a money issue. Just kind of wondering, how much more John is going to do.
Yeah, then I read that Bob Tasca got the COVID-19.
Yep, I saw Bob got it, and golly, I want to say that there was somebody else, but I can't quite remember right now. Maybe it was the NASCAR driver that came down with it as well.
Yeah, it's been a wild year, man. Wild year, my friend.
Yes, sir. It's been quite crazy for work, actually, because I work in a food service industry. I work on packaging equipment, and we package food. We do all sorts of stuff. So I've actually been quite busy through the whole pandemic, and being able to stay working and stay busy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been working through the whole thing too. Cause where I work, we make food bags, like like hot dog bags, hamburger, French fry bags, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been working through it just like you have.
Being an essential worker, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, our track out here in the one 30 minutes from me, my local tracks, they opened like 2-3 weeks ago. So we got our track open because Wisconsin overturned the governor's ruling, and so Wisconsin's pretty open now. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Have you been out to a race yet?
Yeah, I was there Friday. I went to the big jet spectacular where they had pro mods and gassers and big show. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, I actually got out to my first race myself this past weekend. Actually, this weekend before last, I went to the Pro Mod versus Fuel Altered Showdown out at Extreme Raceway Park in Ferris, and man, it was awesome to see that many people out. The cars were locked and loaded. Everybody was out there hauling the mail. I actually saw War Wagon put down a 350 pass and ended up leaving just a little bit early before the final round, and they come out and made world history and ran a 3:44 in the 8th mile.
Wow. Yeah, I think I saw. Yeah, I saw a highlight of the runs from the War Wagon.
Yeah, it was an awesome event, and normally I am one of the participants of that event. It was almost heartbreaking to be out there and not racing, and seeing all my friends that are racing, and walk around and talk to them in the pits. But normally, I'm over there busting tail trying to get my car ready and just to keep up with all of them guys. But I'm a horrible spectator. I hate sitting around and watching everybody else race. But I hope to be out soon this year.
Now, since you live in Texas, Cory, have you been at Funny Car Chaos before?
Oh, yes. I have been to several Funny Car Chaoses. I've actually been to, I want to say 4 or 5 of them. And I've actually participated in a couple of the events, doing some match racing. And then at MoCan, I was in the Nostalgia Shootout. Was actually my highest qualifier. I was number 2 qualifier there, and came up and was racing a front engine dragster and injected nitro car, and I was late on the tree because I didn't want a red light, and went about 40 feet out, lit the tires up, and pedaled it and tried to run them down, and couldn't get to them, and ended my day quite early. I was quite upset that day. My car was ready, and it was our first outing last year, and my car was very consistent. It was a tricky racetrack that afternoon. It got real hot on us and real slick, and I just couldn't. My brother could not turn it down enough to get down the track.
Now, with your Fuel Altered, can you put a funny car body on that thing?
I can put a funny car body on it. We are actually looking for one right now. We have been talking about it, our team and I. And, man, I would love to drive a funny car. There's one funny car that I have a little bit of a problem with, and I need some redemption on, and that's Jordan. I need to get I need to get my redemption back from Jordan.
The Dry Hop King.
Yeah, the Dry Hop King. He's something. Now that whole family they're awesome people, and I actually had a race with him with Central State Superchargers at MoCan as well, and was doing good in qualifying, and I pulled him for first round and went up for first round, and my car would not stay running. And ended up, he made a solo pass down the track, and I took the car back into the pits, and I found a broke wire. Actually, it wasn't even fully broke. It was just loose on the box, and it shut my weekend down. And he has not let me live that down yet.
Yeah,
soon enough.
Yeah, that family has not missed one funny car chaos.
Yeah, no, they're awesome people. The whole family is really welcoming, and I like to go over there and give them a hard time. But I root for them every time. And we've actually I've been out and given them a hand and done some filming for him at the Funny Car Chaos at Denton, which he ended up winning that B field there.
Yeah, you got to get that funny car body so you can go in funny car chaos and run against him.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get. He has an altered body, so I've been trying to get him to put that on. I think if he puts it on, it's going to be a little bit better of a race.
So Cory, let me rewind the clock and ask you how did you get into drag racing in the first place?
Man, my dad has been racing my whole life, racing around here, doing bracket racing, and then he got in with the 790 group down here, which is a real old school class. And we were racing with them for a while, and then my brother, he wanted to get a fuel altered. He wanted to get an altered, so we actually bought an altered for my brother to drive, and we had that car for several years, racing with OFAA and racing with another group of guys around here. And my brother ended up wrecking that car in Shreveport, got some oil underneath the tire and got into the guardrail. And he was okay, but the car was completely totaled. So we took a couple of years off, and he found another car and got back into it. He really wanted to get onto the tuning side of it, so he asked me to step up, see if I wanted to get into the car. I had been crewing for him for several years, and also for my dad as several years, and I was dreaming about the day that I could get to drive one. And so I made some license passes and a dragster, and immediately got to hop into an altered. And it's been a whirlwind ever since then, I can't thank him enough for giving me that opportunity. And it's still a family thing. We have a group with us, Time Warp Racing, and we go out and we do match racing for a Chevy Ford matchup. We have a Ford altered as well, and we also have my Chevy altered, and we go out and do some match racing and stuff like that. And we actually found a real good group of guys and gals that we enjoy racing with nowadays. So it's still staying a family thing. My brother is still tuning the car and wrenching on it, and my dad still comes out and gives us pointers and tells us what we're doing wrong.
So how was your first time experience going down the track in that fuel altered?
Man, it's indescribable to go from a dead stop and using a foot brake on a car to just wide open and running a 450 in the 8th mile. And, I actually made 6 passes in a dragster to get my license, and then I jumped straight into the altered. So I went from about a 550, 560 dragster straight to a 450 altered. And, man, it's just, it's night and day differences. They're wild. They're animals. They don't do what you want them to do. As soon as you get in that short wheelbase altered, it is a whirlwind. And words cannot even really describe what is happening. When you get on that top end, all the emotions let go, and it's just a thrill that there's nothing I have found that beats it.
So what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer?
Honestly, I really enjoy seeing people come around. It's the fans that I really enjoy, seeing them come around, getting able to talk to these kids. Like, I can remember being that 7, 8-year-old kid running around at the track, grabbing hero cards, getting them signed and meeting drivers. And getting to do that myself now is just, it has to be the best part of it. I enjoy racing. I enjoy making the friends out there, but man, seeing these kids' faces light up when you talk to them and you give them the time of day, and you explain stuff to them on the car, and the parents are super thankful, and all the kids now, they run up to my car and they call it the Spider-Man car. So I get a bunch of kids to come over to my pit, and it really makes it enjoyable.
So what do you hate most about being a drag racer?
Losing. I am a horrible, horrible loser. And I catch slack from a couple of the people, in the racing world that have me, and I just cannot stand losing. I am a horrible loser. And that has got to be the worst part of it all.
Now, you said your brother's part of your crew. You have any other crew members for the car?
Yeah, we actually have a whole group of people. The people that work on my car are me, my brother, Brandon, and Brian. And Brian is really, he's the workhorse of it all. I come in and, I do a couple of things, and Brandon sets everything up and runs valves. But, the person that's in and out, checking every single bolt, making sure that everything is safe before we actually make a pass is going to be Brian. And Jerry, he's our wizard. He's the one that builds all of our motors and really does the hard work at the shop, getting the cars ready to go out. And Paula, she is the car owners, and she keeps everything nice and neat and gets us the parts that we need at the right point in time. And the other driver, Darren, me and him have become quite good friends, and I have a little bit of a rivalry with them, seeing as, it's a Chevy versus Ford. I like to give a little bit into that rivalry. Have not been beaten by that Ford car yet once, and I give him lots of slack for that. But, I really have a whole group of people that, make everything possible.
That's awesome. Now, do you have any sponsorship at all?
I do have a couple of sponsors. Of course, it's going to be Time Warp Racing is my number one sponsor, but I don't have people that are donating money for me to go out and buy parts. We are funded. We are wallet funded, as they say.
Right.
But if I have to name a sponsor, it's going to be Time Warp Racing. You can check us out on Facebook as well, Time Warp Racing.
All right, now, Cory, if you can have your fans remember one thing about you, what would you want that to be?
Oh gosh, I would. That's a good question. I would have to say my passion. My passion for drag racing is unmatched. I go out and I support other teams. I try to support my team in the best way possible, and I like to get out and just talk to these people while I'm at the races, and I want them to know that I'm passionate about the sport, and that I really care that everybody is coming out, spending their hard-earned money to watch us race. I think that gets forgotten a lot, is that these people are coming out and spending their hard-earned money to watch us race. So I want to make sure I put on a good show for all of the fans, and I want them to know that I'm there for them.
Now, do you think you could get any better as a drag racer? And if so, how would you achieve that?
Oh gosh, I could get better at being a drag racer with a lot more money. But, I mean, with the current situation that we're in right now, how everything is progressing in racing right now, I think I'm doing quite well with it, keeping up with it, being one of the younger people in the sport. I think I'm doing quite well with it.
Now, do you have any drag racers that were big inspirations for you?
Well, number one has to be my dad. Watching him every weekend going out and bracket racing and putting everything he had into the car, the long nights in the shop on the weekends. And, he is my greatest inspiration in pretty much everything that I do. But, my real good friend, John, he passed away a couple of years back, and he was really a mentor for me in the Altered. He was the old driver of the Time Warp Ford car. And, when I started racing with these guys, man, him taking me under his wing and showing me how things are going and what to expect, and going back and rewatching videos from him and talking about my roll into lights and my movements on the track and, just things that I'm doing. He was awesome. But at a pro level, I mean, Corey Mack is my guy. Corey McClanahan. I can remember watching him and running and chasing after him in the pits, and I almost think it's because we had the same first name. But, yeah, I mean, those three guys right there, my dad, John, and then, of course, Corey Mack, they played a huge role in my passion for the sport.
Yeah, I know you probably wish you could be in Indy this weekend to watch Corey run.
I know. I'm so excited that he's actually coming back and racing. I hate that it's with DSR, but, that's no big deal. I'm just glad that he's out at the track.
Yep. Now, when you're out on the track, out there on the sideline, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all?
So, it's quite weird, but I do have a pre-race ritual, and I have to tell Darren every time that I get in the car, I have to tell him that I got to go pee. So I get super excited up there, and it happened when he was actually working on my car before he started driving for us. He was coming out and helping us get some things lined out. And he was buckling me in one day, and I'm like, man, I got to go pee. And he's like, well, it's too late now. And I said, well, I realized that. And it has just become this thing that even when he's strapped in the car next to me, I reach over and I yell out of my helmet. I'm like, Darren, guess what? And he immediately starts laughing. He knows it's about to happen. And I tell everybody that walks by me, I got to go pee.
Wow.
Not the best, but hey, it's my ritual.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Now, what would you consider to be some of the milestones that you reached so far in your drag racing?
I don't really have any milestones that I have achieved. I set out wanting to drive an Altered, and I would love to get into a Nitro Altered one day, and that is my goal. That is where I want to be at one day. But for now, I'm really just happy going out and spending time with my family out at the races, and it's really wholesome just to be out there, seeing everybody that I know and talking with them. I don't have any huge achievements for me. I do have a couple goals that I want to get to. I'd like to be close to the 200 mile an hour mark in the 8th mile, which I believe I'm going to be very close to that this year. And if I hit that, maybe I will have a milestone. But Particularly, no, I don't have anything off the top of my head that just stands out and was like, hey, you've made it, you know?
Now, what kind of preparation goes into getting that altar ready for a weekend of racing?
So, you know, these altars, they're quite violent, and sometimes they don't do what you want them to do. So, pre-race, before we actually even load the car up, we go over every single bolt from my front end, because I've wrecked a car from a injured front end before. And so that's the main thing, you know, is just checking everything front to back and, you know, giving it a quick start up before we go out there, making sure that everything is right from the last race that we were at. And then when we get to the racetrack, you know, it's quite a bit of a thrash, you know, getting the car unloaded, have to re-inspect the frame, you know, from transport, go through all of that stuff. We double check bolts. You know, we run compression tests, and we also run our valves and get those set, wax up our blower, and then get it all shined up.
Now, what are some of your favorite tracks to race on?
My favorite track to race on was actually Mocan. And I love that track, one, for the nostalgia of the track, and two, I've had some of my craziest passes at Mocan. We have a local track here, Extreme Raceway Park, and then, of course, Ennis. But I haven't been able to make a full pass down XRP yet. When I actually was out there to make a pass, I broke a blower belt, and it broke my crank sensor, and that ended my weekend there. But man, I've had some crazy passes out at Mocan Dragway. So I would have to say that by far that's my favorite track.
All right. Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
My fire and safety equipment comes from DJ Safety. This is where I get my chutes, my fire bottles, my fire suit, and all the stuff that comes with that is from Stroud up in Oklahoma. And those guys have been real great support to me in getting my stuff recertified and checking it after damage, and, you know, keeping me nice and safe inside of there.
So most of your stuff comes from Big Ben?
Yep. Oh, Big Ben. He's quite a character, but you know, he's diligent at what he does, and quite good price, and I enjoy doing business with those guys.
Now, what kind of tires are you running on the Altered?
I run a Goodyear, front and back. I actually just got a new set of slicks this year. Got a new set of fronts as well. Went larger in my front. So maybe I can stop myself from red lighting. I've got a little bit of a problem of cutting the tree down a little bit early. I've been dealing with that. I've been cutting red 004s and 001s, and we actually went up an inch in my tire size from a recommendation of a friend around here that, you know, to tighten up that. And talking with Don Wilcox when I was at the World Fuel Altered National, it was getting repetitious in my rollout to the tree, and I really started working on that, picturing my rollout, looking at my front tire, and seeing how much I'm actually rolling into my beams. So I hope to keep myself on the green side this year, and really looking forward to that. That's one of the things I believe that are going to win a race is right off of that tree. And if I can cut a good light, then I've got a better chance at it than most people do, you know. I run a glide, so I get to run a trans brake. So, you know, a lot of these clutch guys, they can't get off that line. And if you're quick enough, you can keep up with them. And if you beat them off the line, then you've got it made. So, yeah.
Now, what kind of advice would you give someone who's thinking about, you know, getting into drag racing?
Man, bust out your wallet. No, but I mean, if you want to get into racing, man, just enjoy it. Make it fun. You get out there and it can become a lot of work. In between rounds, in between races, it can really wear on you. But the biggest thing that I like to do out at the racetrack is just enjoy the time out with family and friends. And, make it a little bit of a social gathering, enjoy yourself. It's really not that serious out there. We're all out there to go fast and have fun and be safe. And so if you want to get into drag racing, man, just remember that. You're there to have fun. It's not a job. It's something that we all do for fun.
Now, would you recommend they start bracket racing first?
Absolutely, man. Bracket racing is, that's grassroots of drag racing. If you're going to get out there, try to do some, maybe find yourself a couple little grudge races, but, yeah, man, you got to start with some bracket racing. Get out there, learn the track, learn how your car acts, learn how to stage, learn how to cut some lights. And the best way you're going to do that is drag racing. Is bracket racing.
Now, throughout your racing so far, have you had any accidents or close calls yet?
I've had a couple close calls. This current car right now, I was actually in Drag Illustrated from one of my close calls. Smoked the tires up at Mocan and had a little bit of a wild ride. Got the car completely sideways, up on two wheels, about rolled the car. But the car that we had previous to this, I was out at a local track here at Kennedale, and we were doing some test passes, and I made a pass down through there, real good pass, ran about 160, 165 miles an hour, about a 450, 460 pass, and got up on the top end, and it's a real short shutdown, and I pulled my chutes a little bit late, and grabbed my brake real hard, and as soon as my chutes went full deploy, it bounced my car. I believe when I came back down is when my front right wheel, my A-arm and everything broke completely off of the car. And when it did that, it ripped my brake line completely out with it. And it's actually some of the safety changes that we've implemented into my new car. Stomped on the brakes, pushed all the brake fluid out. It went all over the place, and car was sitting on the frame rail, sliding down through there, and I made it around the corner, made it safe. The car was called the Tree Hanger, and that car was actually bought after it got hung up in the trees at the end of the track in Kennedale, and that is about the last place that car was ever raced at. I about did the same thing to it, but I made it around the corner. Didn't catch on fire, didn't wreck the car. We actually sold it to one of our crew guys, Brian, the guy who worked so hard on my car, and he's building it up and making it a little bracket car for himself now.
Well, knock on wood, Cory, you won't have any accidents.
I sure hope so. I have not clipped a guardrail, have not clipped another driver yet. So, all in all, these cars, they will snap you right back into reality if you think you're getting a handle on it. And that's exactly what happened that night. I got complacent and was comfortable in the car, and it let me know that, you have to do your due diligence. You have to look the cars over, and everything has to be 100% at these speeds. People can really get hurt out there, and, it's an eye-opener going through something like that. All I could see at the end of that track was hay bales and trees, and I couldn't turn, I couldn't stop, and I just let go of the wheel at one point and, grabbed onto my seat belts, pulled them even tighter than they were, and was prepared to go into the trees, but something told me to keep on turning and grab back hold of that wheel, and I made it through there.
Well, like I said, knock on wood, no accidents.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me ask you a few fun questions here, Cory. outside of drag racing, any other hobbies?
Outside of drag racing, man, until recently, I haven't had too many hobbies. Now I have a 9-month-old son right now, so we have been spending a ton of time together, and watching him grow and learn is awesome. I've also been rebuilding my motorcycle. I actually got it back up and running a couple weeks back. I've got a 79 FX with a 103-inch S&S shovelhead motor in it with about a 50 shot of nitrous on it.
Now, if you could get in a time travel machine and go back in time, would you do anything differently with the drag racing career?
Yeah, I definitely would have begged them to let me get in that car earlier. I would have loved to be in it sooner, but no, everything has actually been progressing quite well, and I'm happy with where I'm at in my racing career right now.
Now, have you won any drag racing trophies or plaques or anything like that?
No, I have not won an event yet. I've been driving for about 6 years now, and I have not won an event yet. I was at World Fuel Alter Nationals in Eddyville, Iowa last year, and made it to the semifinals, and was running another guy, Justin Shaker, and I went up and I red lit. 007, I believe, was my red light on it. Knocked myself out of the final, and that was heart-wrenching. I drove 16 hours for that race, and I just gave it away. So, no, I don't have any plaques, don't have any trophies yet. I've got tons of pictures and tons of memories, but no event wins yet.
All right, now what's been your most embarrassing moment out there on the starting line?
My most embarrassing moment on the starting line. There's too many, to really name. I've made plenty of mistakes on the starting line. Not hitting the trans brake, double pumping the gas, going up there and braking against Jordan. Take your pick right there. That starting line is brutal. It is brutal to me.
All right, now, what is your favorite food that you like to eat?
My favorite food is barbecue. Man, I barbecue almost every weekend. Hell, I eat barbecue 2 to 3 times a week. It's got to be barbecue, brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, any of it. You put it on a barbecue, I'm going to eat it.
What's your favorite beverage?
Ice cold beer.
What kind of beer?
Well, it was Bud Light. Now I'm on this lose weight thing, so now I'm drinking Corona Premier, and right now I've got a Michelob Ultra in my hand, so, it's kind of like water, but it'll do the trick if you drink enough of it.
What's your favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
The only other thing I drink is Gatorade Zero and water, and it's got to be the light blue Gatorade Zero. That's my drink right there.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, well, that's a toss-up. I've got 2 movies that are my number one. They're my go-to movies, and that's Tommy Boy and Training Day.
All right, what's your favorite music?
Favorite music, man, I really don't have a favorite music. I listen to everything from rap to heavy metal to some Nora Jones. I listen to everything. But if we're gonna go through and look at my music list, I'm gonna have to say the majority of it's gonna be rap.
Now, when you were growing up as a kid, Cory, did you have a favorite cartoon?
Oh yeah. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and me and my son, we get up every Saturday and Sunday, and we watch a couple episodes before we get the day started. I'm trying to get him into it as well, and man, it was my favorite cartoon growing up, and I just loved the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I got a guy at work, he's got a Ninja Turtles tattoo.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Hey, man, that's a good idea. You know,
Yeah.
I've been searching. I've been searching for my next tattoo.
There
I
you
think
go.
You might have just gave me some inspiration right there.
There you go, buddy. Now, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your racing career so far?
You know, it's a tough subject for me. I would say when John passed away, nobody had ever driven that car, and Paula actually came up to me and asked me if I would make a tribute pass for him in their car. And so John was well known for his burnouts, and so we actually spread some of his ashes down into the burnout box, and I went out and laid down about 150 foot burnout and came back and made a pass for him. And it's got to be one of my best memories and one of my worst memories.
Yeah, we got a pro mod group over here called the Chicago Wise Guy. One of their drivers died, and they put the ashes in like 3 of the drivers' parachutes, and then they put the parachutes out. The ashes went on the track.
Oh yeah. Most people do that. And, you know, I was actually out at Ennis, so I wasn't going to pull the chutes anyway. You know, if I pulled the chute, I wasn't going to make a shutdown. So he was well known for his long, smoky, fast burnout. So that's how we wanted to honor him, and I did my best that I could.
So what's been your most memorable win?
My most memorable win would have to be against Bill Seals in the first round of WSA and the World Fuel Altered Nationals. I actually have a little bit of a grudge with that team over there. We were racing at Mocan, and I drug him right down through the track and let him know that we were there to race. And ever since then, he's had a little bit of a target on me. So we had a match race Friday night in Eddyville, and he ended up taking that match race. So we were 1-1, and just so happened that I pulled him first round, and I drug him right down through there again. And I'm going to keep doing it every time that yellow car lines up next to me.
Now, if people are listening in and they want to see where you're going to be at, what's the best way for them to find a schedule for you?
You can follow me on Facebook, and it's Cory Holcomb. You can also check me out on Instagram. It's also Cory Holcomb, Cory_Holcomb. Or you can follow us on Facebook at our racing page, and that's Time Warp Racing. And, we post every event that we're going to be at, whether it's match racing, racing with the association, or just flat-out testing. You know, we let you know everywhere we're going to be at. Come out, get a shirt, get a hero card, you know, introduce yourself.
Awesome. Cory, you have any closing words or thank yous, any good stuff like that you want to do before we close out?
You know, I just want to say thank you to, my group of racers that I race with. Also want to say thanks to my brother for giving me the opportunity. And, of course, thank you to Paula and Jerry for all the work that they do behind the lines. Also, Jordan Ballou, I'm going to race you, and I'm going to beat you. Billy, I'm going to beat you as well. And have started a little bit of a thing with the Nanook car. And looks like we were going to meet at Eddyville this year, straight off the trailer. But I think that they're going to go race at Cordova that weekend. But we have been talking back and forth, and it looks like we're going to have a match race with those guys very soon.
Awesome. Well, Cory, I want to thank you very much for taking time tonight to do this interview.
Heck yeah, no, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this.
No problem. I try to, support you guys and promote you guys best as I can, man.
Heck yeah, no, you're doing an awesome job. I appreciate it so much.
No problem. We'll do another one in the future, hopefully. Maybe we'll talk about some big wins for you.
There we go. That's what we need to be talking about.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck with the race season, Cory.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a great night.
You too. Bye.